Hi, I'm Tim, welcome to our channel, and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I'd really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it, and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we're discussing a lovely 2001 serial number, so a K series, Rolex Oyster Perpetual Datejust Turn-O-Graph. This is the reference 16264, stainless steel with a white gold engine-turned bidirectional rotating aviator-style bezel. This is part of the so-called Thunderbird series of Rolex Datejust, so named because during the 1950s, the U.S. Air Force issued these pilot-style watches to the U.S. Air Force Thunderbird's Aerobatic Demonstration Squadron. They're like the British Red Arrows or the US Navy Blue Angels, and that makes this watch part of the pantheon of original service-issued timepiece families. Now, based on the original early 50s reference 6202, the Turn-O-Graph actually preceded the Submariner by several months as the first large-scale production rotating bezel Rolex sports watch, and on my 16cm circumference wrist, it remains a viable and versatile timepiece. The timepiece is 36mm by 11.5mm thick. The lug-to-lug dimension is 43.5mm across the wrist, and it wears easily. The timepiece featuring a Rolex Oyster bracelet. We'll get a little bit closer here. I should mention that this watch has not been refinished by us. We would rather offer a watch with integrity and the original evidence of ownership, but also all the original metal. So if you see a few marks here, pre-owned watch, but also we would rather present the watch as original as possible. 3-link Oyster design. The bracelet's in good shape. You can see it does have a little bit of stretch in it, but it's minimal. It's not much more than it would have had when it was originally sold. Jumping into the removable links, you can see that the removable links are fixed by screws as they are today, and as they have always been. Rolex has not used pin sleeves. The clasp itself snaps shut. It is friction fit. You can see there is still a very sharply defined Rolex 5-point coronet on the underside. This is always the first thing to go with excessive refinishing. Here you can see it essentially as sharp as it was the day it was stamped. Now the clasp features internal adjustment points, and you can see that they have a sort of staggered spacing, so you can fine-tune by changing the anchoring point of the bracelet without actually removing or adding links, and that's how most of the sizing is done with this bracelet. The case is a graceful, lovely pre-super case profile, so you can see it's also historically correct, as the period Datejust featured satin finished lug hoods and polished flanks. Now you can see that there has been some refinishing of this watch in the past. We have not refinished it. There's also been a little bit of deformation at the very tips of the lugs, so I want to represent that as accurately as possible. After all, pre-owned watch, but you can see that the lugs, in terms of actual volume, are largely intact. The bezel is a lovely white gold engine-turned bidirectional rotating aviator-style piece. So the aviation associations with the Thunderbird are part of the allure of the Turn-O-Graph model. Now you can see that as in the early 1950s with that first reference 6202, before it was even a Datejust Turn-O-Graph, you have the ability to line up the index with the minute hand, and now you have an easy timing reference. A blue dial, sunburst, immaculate, white gold crown, hands, and indices. This is a K-series watch, so it was never fitted with tritium. Luminova was fitted new. Luminova is what it has now, and you'll appreciate the railroad track outboard with stylized Roman numerals, outboard of the indices, twin lock crown, screw down, 100-meter water resistance. Inside the case, Rolex manufactured caliber 3135 automatic, 31 joules, 48-hour power reserve, 28.8 beat rate, so 28,800 vibrations per hour. It features a free-sprung balance and a full balance bridge for shock resistance, and a 5-position adjustment with a handmade Breguet over coil hairspring, the better to achieve a Swiss COSC chronometer certificate, which this watch has. Handsome, historically significant, and by the standards of Rolex Datejust models, quite rare. You can see this Rolex 16264 and make it yours on the Watchbox. Rolex Datejust Turn-O-Graph, I should mention, it also has stop seconds and a quick set date. All the modern toys.